Today is September the 11th and I'm in these woods, which is very nice. Today is also apparently Burn a Koran Day, although I'm assured that's been cancelled. I don't know who got the right to name these days and who's got the right to cancel them. Perhaps there's some organisation of worldwide experts, representatives from all countries who get to nominate what these days are, and maybe they all sat down and decided, yeah, this should be Burn a Koran Day, and now they've had some other kind of meeting and called it off. Or maybe it's just one bloke with an idea that was picked up by the media. Yeah, Burn a Koran Day. I mean, it's a weird thing, isn't it, really? It's a weird thing. To me it makes no sense at all. It makes no sense. And it makes no sense for an atheist, for me at least, this is just me speaking. It makes no sense for a rational atheist to do the burn Quran thing. I don't get it. Maybe I'm just being stupid. Because it seems to me that if you're rejecting... But you know, the reason why an atheist would reject the Quran, it might be for a number of reasons. It might be because of, you know, the actions of certain Muslims, particularly on this day several years ago, or it might be because of, you know, more recent actions. I don't know. But more likely, I think, it's just because the Quran represents religion. Religion is viewed by atheists as either just nonsense or possibly even slightly corrosive. And so the Quran, like the Bible, like the rest of the holy books, should not be respected in any particular way. I mean, that seems to be the appropriate approach to take, you know, that they have no more status than the works of Shakespeare or whoever, you know, any other kind of literature, really. So where am I going with this? Yeah, but so why would you burn the Quran? I mean, it seems to me, yeah. Okay, so if you're taking a kind of rationalist approach to that, rational atheist approach, you are saying that the kinds of investment that people make into a book like the Quran, the kinds of worldview that gives the Quran or the Bible a certain kind of status, is dependent upon claims for how the world works, truth claims, which are false or which are arrived at through highly fallible processes. You know, the kinds of things that are stated, I mean, quite apart from the political claims that are made in the Quran and the Bible and so on, which are themselves, in many cases, offensive enough. As I say, the truth claims that are made that are advanced in those books, again, are you know, mostly viewed as spurious, and the kind of role that symbolism and mythology has in those books is also frowned upon. You know, if you're a rational atheist, you don't award symbols the same kind of ontological status as you do entities in the world. You don't do that. Whereas if you're a believer, then you do. The kind of symbolic and mythological statements that are made in the Bible or in the Quran have at least equal and possibly greater status than the truth statements made in science. I mean, that's how believers in those various faiths view it. Whereas, as I say, rational atheists are supposed not to. We might find symbols and mythologies and metaphors interesting and useful and perhaps necessary to advance our thinking, but we recognise they're not the same kinds of statements and claims and propositions as are arrived at through empirical processes. And yet, here we are, well, I say we, some people are engaging in exactly that kind of symbol manipulation in order to make some kind of statement. You know, burning a book, as we all know, is totally meaningless in physical terms. You know, books are fantastic technologies, but the whole point of a book is it's infinitely reproducible. I imagine in early days, you know, when the Library of Alexandria went up, that was pretty significant because there weren't multiple copies of the things that were inside the library. So burning a book then was really important for really good reasons. But now, burning a book is symbolically important only and has no physical effect on the world. It doesn't destroy any information at all. So it's pure symbolism. And of course symbols are important. We know that. And very important to some people. But as atheists, we should be taking that, recognising that symbolism for what it is, not for, not awarding it, not granting it the same kinds of status as religious people do, I would have thought. If we're burning a Quran, we are saying that in some way we are invested in this book, to the extent that burning it has some kind of magical power almost, in the same way that not burning it, possessing it, reading it, learning it, reciting from it, preaching from it has. I think we're playing the same game. I mean, we all do it. And don't get me wrong. I know that even the most rational atheist, and I'm not sure I'd hold myself up as that, but even rational atheists do have irrational understandings of symbolism. I don't know of anybody, for example, who would spit on a photograph of their mother. Well, then maybe they would, but it's most of us would feel a bit queasy about that, even though we know that what we're looking at is a two-dimensional picture, and that saliva is nothing particularly disgusting about saliva anyway. We'd feel weird about that, or burning our photograph collection, even though we know we've got copies and we've got the negatives, or we've got them in the computer. We'd feel weird about that. So there's something very deep going on there for all of us. But as I say, as rational atheists, we really shouldn't be playing that game, surely. I can easily understand the preacher in Florida, if it's true, who kicked the whole stupid thing off, him doing it. Because yeah, he's a religious nut job, and he was invested in the special symbolic status of certain printed materials. But we're not supposed to be like that, are we? We're not supposed to be like that. We shouldn't be playing that game. I noticed Thunderfoot did a video about using a Quran as a doorstop, beg pardon. And he was saying in that video, that it was quite clear that it is in a sense about either consciously disrespecting or about lowering the apparent disrespect one has for an object by treating it in different ways and using it as a doorstop. It's not quite as inflammatory in a literal sense as setting fire to it. But it is still mobilising symbolism. It is still saying, this is what I think about this book, therefore it's what I think about your religion, which is still playing the symbolism game. And Mel's basket case, I thought this is the best one actually. She suggested donate a Quran day, because it's very easy to get hold of Qurans. They're always in the second-hand shops around here, and you can get them free online and so on. She suggested you should get a Quran and then give it away. Give it to somebody. I quite like that. It's kind of nicely balanced, poised between rejecting the object, you're effectively saying, I don't have any use for this, giving it away, but at the same time you're also giving somebody something which has positive value. So I quite like the ambiguity of that action. Donate a Quran. It's good. I don't know what I would do. I thought about getting loads of Qurans and building up 2 big piles of them. Great big towers of Qurans and then flying model aeroplanes into them. But I thought that would be crass. Yeah. Anyhow, happy 9/11 YouTube.